Good evening and welcome to your Sonder Social September monthly setup. I'm Jennifer Krippner and I'm dialing in from the beautiful state of Minnesota. I think we have several other Minnesotans and Wisconsin people with us. So it's great to be here with you. It's been a while for me, but I am great to be back with you. So in the chat, we have the other Jennifer. So you have Team Jennifer. Jennifer is also dialing in. There she is from Texas. So we're both in the Central Standard Time Zone and happy to be here with you this evening. Would love seeing everybody here tonight. Lots of new people as well as some friends, Sonder fam members that we've seen from many months. I've been a Silk and Sonder member since March of 2020. Just as the pandemic started, I became a member and I've loved being part of this family. It's so supportive and great to have you all here as we think about beginning a new month. That's what I love about Silk and Sonder is we get to start fresh every single month. So many things to look forward to this coming month. I'm seeing some events, some travel, some family time, looking forward to. I even see some pumpkin spice lattes and fun fall food and drinks. It's great. Some birthdays as well. Happy birthdays to all of, football season too. Happy birthdays and anniversaries to you all for the month of September. It's very exciting as well. Just a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you that are new, if you could just please set your chat to everyone so that we can all see your questions and answers and respond. If it just says host and panelist, just click the down arrow and you can switch it to everyone. And so welcome. If this is your very first Sonder Social with us, whether it's a monthly setup or a weekly setup or a journal prompt, please let us know by putting me in the chat. And then we can for sure welcome you. Hello, Kelly and Cindy and Charlene. Oh my goodness, lots of you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are for sure going to have a fun evening tonight. One thing that you might want to do is grab your phone. If you're not on your phone, you want to take a screenshot, that would be great too. We do record these Sonder Socials, so we will give you a private YouTube link at the very end so that you could rewatch this if you'd like it as well. Thank you, Nathania, for saying you're lucky to have Team Jennifer. We love working together, as do all of our facilitators. But Team Jennifer is special. We really enjoy working together, and we will have fun this evening. One thing I'd like you to do is just note that this coming weekend is a little bit different. All of our facilitators were not available to do the weekly social setups. And so we apologize greatly for that. We all had travel, out of town company, things like that, that our schedules just did not align. And so this coming weekend, there are no weekly setups. And so when we give you the link at the end of this, you can see previous weekends weekly setup. So you could look at a recorded video from past weeks. So the weekly setup is just like the monthly setup, but every weekend and Monday morning, we do a weekly setup, like how do you set up your weekly pages? And so I'll do a little preview about what that is like here in part of our social tonight, since we will be missing some of that this week. So let's look at this month. This month, actually, before we get started, we always like to just talk about what it is like to be part of the Silk and Sonder community. We're really here to elevate our emotional health and wellness. We're about being a part of a community and being responsible as part of a community. And so here are our guidelines. They're also on the website, and it's part of being here together tonight. And so I just ask that you kindly read those and adhere to those. And Jennifer is in the chat to help us work through that together tonight. As we think about this month's theme, I absolutely adore the theme of Flourish. Thinking about how we can be our best selves, how can we show up to ourselves, and really dive deep into being grateful and thoughtful, and be really true to how do we want to be our best and be in our best space. And so we're going to dive into that a little bit more tonight about that. Here is Meha's letter. I like to put that at the front here. It's kind of my favorite part of the journal every month, and opening that is to read her letter to all of us. And so I wanted to pull out a couple of questions that she asks at the last paragraph in her letter to us about the theme of flourish. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able to answer some of these as we go through our setup tonight, or at least set up our month to answer some of these questions. And some of them are, where do we need to be? Where do we need to be, and what do we need to do to flourish this month? Who do we need to be around? Or perhaps who do we not want to be around us in order for us to flourish? What areas in our life are you longing to flourish in? And then how might we carve out time, space, and energy to create habits to flourish? And we're going to talk a lot about habits tonight, as well as we do for the weekly setups. So habits really help us create accountability to ourselves around this focus area of flourish. So our agenda is an opening activity. We'll focus on August reflections. So before we really dive into setting up September, we'll want to really reflect on August, what went well, what were our challenges, how we might move forward, setting our September intentions, looking at the mood tracker, getting the habit tracker, and then let's move forward into setting everything up for our September success. So if you have your September journal, I'd like you to pull that out now. So let's move forward into our opening activity. And just a little surprise for all of you tonight, our opening activity is going to be something that we typically do during our weekly setup, and it's called a mind map. And a mind map is something that we like to cover every single week. And every single week we build on the theme of flourish and really think about how we can uncover different themes. And if you don't have your journal yet, you don't need your journal yet. Just grab a blank piece of paper, grab a notes page from your last journal. If you have an August journal, grab a notebook. You can even use sticky notes. And so that's just fine. You don't need to have your journal. And even if you have your journal and you don't quite want to put that in to the space yet, and you want to just practice drawing it out, that's fine too. So sometimes people like to make a photocopy of that page and practice on it before they put in there, but it doesn't matter. This journal is up to you. So the mind map is nothing that's printed in your journal. So that's why you take a notes page, perhaps the scratch paper, or perhaps even the back page or something like that if you don't want to use a notes page. But if you can just take a blank piece of paper out of a notebook for right now, that would be really great as well. So this month's mind map is on flourish. And each week we reveal a different topic or question. And so this first week, for the first week of September, is what are the things that I need to do to flourish? And so this is what a mind map looks like. You can draw 4 circles, put the word flourish in the middle, and then each week we build on it. And so the first question is, what things do I need to flourish? And some people like to draw a flower and each petal each week. So you draw 4 petals. Some people like to draw squares. It can be whatever you would like it to be. Jennifer has some great tips in the chat for you. So I drew mine for you, and I decided to do 4 overlapping circles because I really feel like all the things that we probably will uncover over the month will overlap and support how I might flourish. So what things do I need to flourish? And for me, flourishing this month feels like, what do I need to be in flow? How do I need to be energized? What do I need to be grateful for? And how can I truly optimize myself? And so in the middle there, between week 1 and week 2, I'm writing that I need creative time to think. I need to carve out special time and space to be my most creative self, because that's really, I feel like, where I could be in flow. I also need loving support. I need people around me that will help me make sure that I have that time and bring out the best in me. And then self-care actions, like I need my sleep, that's important to me. And I also need movement. And then I need confidence. And part of that is that loving support as well. And so I'm going to give you a few minutes to create your own mind map, however and wherever you would like to draw it like that. And I will be back here after this song. And I'd love to hear in the chat how you might be thinking what you need to flourish this month. So I will be back here shortly. Thanks for sharing in the chat what's coming up for you. And I think really good support in the chat with one another too. I'm seeing some unstructured time or some play, some quiet time, support for sure. Thinking about how you take care of yourself and your self-care. I think showing up tonight and being here tonight is a really good thing to help you flourish. I think, really carving that special time out for you, even to just provide yourself with the time to think about what is it that I need? What does flourish look like to me? Perfectly great for you to put that in there and put those question marks in there for you to discover that. And I think those are great examples. So just giving yourself time to think about it is important. So often we don't pause long enough to think about, what is it do I need? What are the things that I need? What is flourish to me? And that's why we're here tonight, to really think about, how does this fit into my life and personal growth time? You're right, Amanda. Amanda is like, how does that fit into my life, and can I make time and space for it? And I think you're all here tonight because that's exactly what we're doing. So let's look back. Let's get our monthly planner out if you have it. If you don't, that's fine too. We're going to show you examples of the pages, and you can just write out the headers and then fill out your answers on a piece of paper. So that is really great. So let's look at reflections. We're going to start on page 8 with reflections. There's a couple different categories on you here, and I'll walk through them with you. Wins, challenges, favorite moments. What do I want to start, stop, and continue? And so as we think about this page, August wins. So what's something that you did, something that made you smile or happy, or did you have an accomplishment? You don't have to have 3 or 4 things. You can just write down one. You can write it in paragraph form. You could do a bullet point. It can be one word. There's no right or wrong way to fill this page out. Challenges are something that maybe didn't go right, or something that was out of your control, perhaps a stumbling block or frustration. Different tips and tricks that we like to see here are that you could maybe look back at maybe some rosebud or thorns from your last month over your weekly spreads. You could use your phone to look at your calendar, or perhaps photos from the last month. And then for your favorite moments too, is there a favorite moment that's really stood out for you? And then at the bottom, what do you want to start doing? Maybe that you aren't doing right now that will help you get better results, or maybe something you want to try or experiment for better results. Maybe there's something that's not working for you right now that you really want to stop doing, things that maybe aren't practical or not getting you the results that you want, or that are no longer serving you. And then what are things that are working well that you want to keep doing and continue to build habits around? And so I'm going to give you a couple examples. I'm going to share mine on the left-hand side, and then another example on the right-hand side. And so I'll just share my one win in August was first time completing a work challenge on my own. An August challenge was, we had like a 2-week notice to move out of our house and into our lake home. That was our choice. And then my favorite moment was my first grandson was born, baby Brooks, on August 9th. And so that's pretty exciting. One thing that I want to start, I want to move more, like movement and exercise and all of that. I want to stop procrastinating with social distractions, social media. And then I want to continue being a positive influence. Thanks for your congratulations on my grandson. It's pretty exciting. He's going to come up and visit me this weekend. So the other example here, you can see they put down 3. They did different colors, and then they just did decorating for starting, snoozing, and noom for continuing. And I think, yep, that's my last example. So I'm going to give you some time to work on this page. And oh, you need pictures. Yes, I should have put some pictures in. I'll share in Sonder Club. How does that sound? And then, so let's work on setting this page up. I'll see you back here. I'd love to see in the chat how you what things that you had for a win, a challenge, favorite moments, start, stop, and continue. You can share all or just pick a few that you want to share in the chat. And then I'll see you back here shortly. Thank you everyone for sharing in the chat. Some of these are not easy to share, and I really appreciate you feeling like you can. Some really good wins, some really tough challenges, some good moments, and some great encouragement from one another. And so Kaylee, I think I'm saying that right, celebrating your birthday in August with the money you earned in your business. And the first birthday you celebrated in a while. So I'm really glad that you shared that, and hopefully that you were able to do something really fun with that. And Madison, welcome back. We're glad you're here. This is a great accountability team, and thanks for showing up for yourself. And Barb, interested to hear about your favorite moment. You redesigned your coat closet and discovered lovesdesign.com. You can customize wallpaper. Got to check that out for sure. Lydia, we are praying for you and your new journey this year, and I'm thinking about you. And Kelly, got to see the Barbie movie and you went in all pink, so that's exciting. And then it looks like Holly, you stepped down from a volunteer board that you chair, and so that is a tough decision. I did the same thing this year, and it is really, really hard to move forward, but it sounds like you contributed a lot, and really supportive in thinking about maybe what's next for you. And sorry, Kimberly K, that you have COVID, or got COVID, and I hope that you start to feel better. And Lori, continue to do something as silly as making my bed look beautiful every morning to start the day smiling. It's a very, very important thing to do, and it's a good accomplishment. So congratulations, and we'll work on making sure that you create that as a habit in your habit tracker in a little bit. So let's think about our intentions for the month of September. And we can think about intentions in these different categories that are outlined in your journal. It's just on the next page, page 9. We outline spiritual health, personal life, physical health, key relationships, money management, and professional goals. So on page 9, there are these 6 boxes, and there's many different ways that we can approach this. And these are just examples. You can change each box to say something different, or you can combine the boxes if you only wanted to do 3. It's totally up to you. But here's some examples or tips and tricks. You can use the theme of Flourish to set your intentions. So if you want to think about how you might support the theme this month with your intentions, you can do that. And then you can focus on one area. If you'd want to focus on self-talk or self-love, you could use the name of a song or a tune that inspires you, or a quote. You could do how do you want to feel this month in each of these areas. Or you could use stickers, colors, images, pictures, or one thing that you want to let go of, or one thing you want more of. So you could do a more or less example in each of those areas. So let's look at how this looks in the journal. So if you don't have your journal, you feel free to just draw this out on a piece of paper. And how might you want to flourish this month in each of these areas? Or like I said before, feel free to make your own categories or your own areas. And I'll come back to this slide, but I want to share some examples from our Sonder fam members. There use stickers here on the left-hand side in each of the categories. On the right-hand side, I have a couple of examples from this person where they really looked at different keywords. So the first one, they chose mental and spiritual health, where they really wanted to commit. A personal life is they intended to be faithfully take care of themselves. And you can see devote, reliable, dedicated, loyal. They changed a couple, the last one, my loyalty goals. I really like that. So this month it could be your flourishing goals. So here's a couple more examples on the top left-hand side. They chose to use sticky notes first because they really weren't sure where they were going to go with their intentions for the month. And so here's another example where they wanted to use those. This is the same person as the last one. Harmony, freely accept, flow, flourish, action, joy. And then on the right-hand side, just different words and stickers, again, combination. Stick to a plan, high five, make the time, dinner with friends, time with family. And then another one where they just chose one word and then drew little flowers and bumblebees. And then on the right-hand side, again, just different areas. Spiritual health is choir, physical health is walks, key relationships is check-in. And then one more slide example. here on the left-hand side is the more. They want to do more time outside, more sunshine, more gratitude, and less screen time and less not journaling. And on the right-hand side, you can see they chose quotes. So lots and lots of fun examples. And I am going to play a song so you can set up your intentions page. I will scroll through all of these slides during the song so that you can see the examples again, because I realize I just went through them pretty quickly. So I will be back here in just a little bit. All right. Thank you so much for sharing in the chat. I am inspired by all of you. I've got some really great ideas. Chris, thank you for sharing your brain health, learning and mindfulness, home and garden. and involvement category changes. I love that. I'd love to see examples of how you set this up in the Sonder Club, so we can see that. And Deborah, you make the money box the end of month review, and you go back in about halfway through the month and look at that. So that's exciting as well. So Natasha, you're going to change a couple of the categories as well. You like Deborah's idea of splitting them up and checking halfway through the month. I think that's great. And then Sarah, so spiritual health, your category, you're going to talk with your spiritual director again. Personal life, you need a gentle soul who loves you for you. That's these are wonderful categories and plans or intentions for the month. Physical health, get better balance back. Key relationships, deal with people with grace. Set aside money and pay off all your debts and get a different job. So we wish you well. I think you said before you were interviewing, so we're thinking about you as you do all of that. And then Amanda, your money management became your Flourish. And so you have a sticker that says, live the story you want to tell. I love that, with Disney princesses. So great, embracing the theme. Lots of great ideas here. So these are fabulous intentions. And I love hearing all the different ways to repurpose some of these boxes. And so you've inspired me. Let's move on to the next page. We're going to flip over to our mood tracker, and then the habit tracker will be after that. So let's look at our mood tracker and think about how we understand our feelings and our trends and our feelings, and where we might begin to notice and maybe make some shifts or think about how we can lean into those moods. So we're going to move to page 10. And there's many different ways, and I'm going to give you a ton of examples on how we might think about using this mood tracker. And you feel free to think about using the theme of Flourish this month up if you would like to. And again, you can use stickers, colors, colored pens to create your key. Yes, it's a hexagon month instead of a circle. Some people like that. So I'll give examples of both, but it is a hexagon month for sure. Here is what we call a feelings wheel. And I think, Jennifer, you might have a link to that on the website for Silk and Sonder if you don't have this in your packet. But there's a lot of feelings that we feel every single day. Several on this wheel that you might come in contact in any given moment. And so sometimes it's good for us to track where we're at on a daily basis so that we can begin to feel more joy and more happiness and more flourishing moments during our days. There's also different ways to repurpose our tracker. So daily affirmations, maybe our anxiety levels, our depression levels, whatever we're dealing with throughout the month. So here's the hexagon, because there's 30 days, Jennifer tells us. If there's 31, we move into the circle. And so that's very helpful. Thank you, Jennifer, for filling us in on that. A couple examples here I'm going to share. This person on the left likes to use this as a self-care tracker. And so they have divided each day into, it looks like 6 different options, because like I said, we have many feelings that happen throughout the day. And so different self-care things that they want to do, like meditation or reading or coloring, all those things that really support their self-care journey for that person is on there. On the right-hand side is a move tracker, M-O-V-E. So are they lifting weights? Are they doing steps? Are they exercising, standing, swimming, stretching, all those activity things that really support their activity? That's what they're tracking instead of their mood, which obviously exercise helps your mood, but this is how they're helping that. Tracy, it looks like you split yours in half, so you do track your steps and your pain, which is really a neat way. And Jonah, you do mood and screen time. Love that. I have not seen that one. Here's another one, your effort tracker. So how much effort am I putting into my day? Am I eager? Am I a little bit extra? Am I slow but steady, tired, minimal? Or am I just not having it today? Symptom tracker. So what kinds of symptoms am I having? Is it a migraine day? But a morning tracker. How am I doing this morning? If I really need to get going in the mornings differently than I am having in the past, maybe I need to make my bed. We talked about that before. Take my vitamins, do my morning skincare, floss, exercise, walk. How about if I really need to stay in a good mood? What are those things that help me stay in a good mood? Like the Hallmark Channel. That's that yellow circle right there. So if I'm watching the Hallmark Channel, for me, I'm going to stay in a great mood. How about just moods? Happy, stressed, productive. How am I tracking my moods? Over indexed, right? Am I exhausted, decision fatigue? Where's my levity at? So exercise tracker. Am I walking 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles? What type of exercise routine am I doing? Am I walking, DVDs? Am I using weights? Bedtime routine tracker. Am I brushing my teeth, flossing? So again, we saw morning one, now a bedtime one. And how many days of the month am I actually doing that? So they're tracking their days. Again, some more mood trackers and how they're doing that with lines through it. This other one was stickers. So no spoons, joyful, anxious, at peace, depressed, cranky. Those stickers. And a couple more examples. Again, some more moods. Book trackers. They have a couple books that they're reading, and then in the middle top here we have a few more beautiful colors that they're using and different shapes that they're filling in their hexagon. Some more stickers for their moods on the right. And then this one in the middle, they're dividing it into emotions and energy. And then they either have a flower or color around it. So creative. You all are so creative. And then I think this is my final example, self-care tracker in different states here. So it's emotional, physical, social, spiritual, mental, creative. And then the different actions within those categories that they're using. And then the workout tracker. So did they train, cardio, walk, Pilates, yoga, and dance? And I believe this is my last one here with a synopsis. So a reading tracker. Did I read? How many pages did I read? And then the one on the right again are just mood trackers. They added a seventh one in the middle. And then you can see the shading, the beautiful shading of all the different moods that they're feeling in any one day. And so this, if you don't have moods that you want to track, I track my symptoms because other things, exercise, books, routines, happiness, emotions, energy, self-care, learning. You could do podcasts, articles, things like that that you want to track at all, sleep, things like that. So I'm gonna play you a quick song and let you decide what kind of categories you might want to track this month. And I will be back here to see in the chat what you're going to be tracking. All right. Thanks for sharing in the chat. And I need to read up on that spoon theory. I did hear about it. And so thank you. I think it's Rachel that says no more spoons. In a nutshell, it just means, let's see here. I'm trying to read. No energy to do anything. It's like, nope, I've had it. That's just enough for the day, right? And Georgette, thank you for saying you've learned a lot about tracking your emotions and how they relate to your physical health. So I think just, even if you just want to put 3 emotions down and start tracking it that way, if this is your first time tracking it, you don't have thoughts. I think that's great too, and appreciate that. So spoon theory is an analogy that describes what it's like to live with a fatiguing chronic illness. And I think I remember like an autoimmune illness disease. So it can help you explain to others your limits and boundaries. And so that's great. So you, Jenna said she liked the stay in a good mood idea. So you're getting outside, reading a book, family time, dance party, singing with the kids. I love that. All very doable things to keep us in a good mood. Megan, happy, motivated, anxious, loving, loved, or sad. Those are your trackers. Thank you all for sharing what you're tracking this coming month in September. Let's move on to the next page, the habit tracker. And I believe that's just on the opposite page of your mood tracker. And so let's look at, thanks Jennifer, page 11. Are there new habits that you want to start tracking? Are there habits that maybe don't serve you that you'd like to keep track of? Are there habits that you'd like to continue to keep doing that you want to be able to check off every day and note that you're having success on? Do you want to bring in Flourish again as your focus? Do you want to have a theme this month? Do you want to continue habits from last month and bring them over? And then, like I said, do you want habits you can do? And then do you want maybe one habit in there that might be a little bit trickier for you to do? So I think it's important to know that you have some on there that are going to be quick wins for you and some that might be a little bit more trickier to start to build accountability around. So I'm going to share some examples with you about how people set up their habit trackers. And again, there are, I think, 7 lines on there. You don't need to use every line. If you're just starting out with your very first habit tracker, just put a few on there to get started. The person on the left, though, color codes their lines, and then inside of that, they write on there why it's important, why for each one. So unplug by 8 a.m., my whys, be present with Dave and Lacey, and then they'll just check them off. And they like to circle which days of the weekend. The one on the right, they have 3. Brush teeth twice a day, make bed and daily affirmations. And then they blocked out the lines that they're not using, so it's easier for them to keep track of that. I love that. So the one on the left here is mindful before prayer, daily rituals, which is part of your Sonder Club app. And then movement and building the amount of movement that they do each week. On the right-hand side, 64 ounces of water, yoga, bed, and time awake, AM, PM meds, journaling, and creativity time. And there they wrote the days of the week on them. And I love this quote: people do not decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. And this one is really interesting to me. So we have in Silk and Sonder what's called the Wheel of Life habits, several categories to choose from. And they ended up putting this Wheel of Life in the inside. And then they color coded each Wheel of Life category to a habit that they want to track. So personal development is purple, so make time for myself. Spiritual, regular pause with God. Eat more meals together as family, and you can see, and so on. So I love that Wheel of Life category. Couple more examples, you can just see different shadings, different colors. Here's a learning habit. They're doing all learning habits for the month. So podcasts, articles, TED Talks, YouTube videos, and books. So the very focused category there. On the left side, you can see the beautiful coloring and the dots that they're using, and they're tracking the numbers of days per month that they want to have a goal. In the middle, they're using symbols. On the right, stickers. So different ways to keep track. This one looks like they penciled in like a mandala, and then they just draw in the pencil marks with the colors. Very beautiful. There's no way I could ever possibly do that. I just do a little check mark. Mine's not fancy. And then I love the quotes and the inspiration around the outside of the habit tracker on this one on the right. And here's some more examples of different things. If you need ideas for habit tracking, I'm going to leave this up, but right now I'm going to play a song and let you get started on this. And I will let you fill out your habit tracker and let us know what's coming up for you. Excellent time spending working on these. I think, Jonah, I love what you're saying is using this as a social tracker and really looking at when you talk to somebody or went out and did something fun alone. I think that's really good. I totally can understand how that feels from our COVID times. It's easy to just get in that habit. So I love that, creating a habit for that. I think that's fabulous. Couple other ones I think that were shared is health habits, weight loss goal, drinking water, protein, movement, journal, affirmations, AM, PM routines are always a really good one. And so thank you for sharing some of those. Tracy, limit sugar, handwriting exercises, daily rituals, being motivated, Sarah says, to clean up after herself, talking with people, taking shower, daily affirmations. And Jonah, you are not alone. I think about that all the time, is like how easy it is to just get stuck in our routine and keep doing our things, but being purposeful and intentional on creating those connections, whether it is just picking up the phone or texting or calling somebody, it is really important to plug in, and being here tonight and being part of this community is really important, and being connected is really great. And so I know we have 15 minutes left, and I have, because week 1 for September 4th through the 10th, we don't have any weekly setups. I really wanted to just see if I could try to put in a couple slides to see if you guys are all interested in turning to page 32 and seeing if we can think about our week next week, and actually sharing a couple examples of our weekly setup. So I know it's Thursday night, and we really don't want to think about next week because we all have a wonderful holiday weekend coming up and a long weekend. But let's think about how we might want to set up our week. Are you guys interested? Maybe put a yes in the chat if you are. So let's turn to page 32 and let's think about how we want to feel after the holiday. Let's think about what our goals are. Awesome. I'm glad I have everybody on board for 15 more minutes because I put in some examples, and I'll give you a little bit of time to let's think about how we might set up our week, since we don't have any weekly setup for the weekend. How do we want to feel next week after the holiday? How might we want to tie our feelings, now that we just have our intentions and our habits and our moods all connected for the month? How can we relate that to the first week of September? Maybe share in the chat, how do you want to feel? How do we want to feel going into that first week after the holiday? And then how can we tie that in to our goals for the first week? So we're probably all coming back from work. If you have Monday off, let's take a few minutes to set up our week. Let's see, my second slide is to-dos. So let's focus on this first. Let me play a quick song. I'm going to go through a couple slides while you're doing this. I'm going to play this one, and I'll see you back here shortly, but share in the chat. All right. Thanks for sharing how you want to feel. Tracy, thank you for sharing your page here that I was able to put in the presentation. It's beautiful handwriting, and you must have been practicing because I can read every single word, and it's wonderful. So people want to feel calm. They want to feel energized. Some people want to feel healthy and motivated, Kimberly, after you're not feeling well. I agree. Joyful, balanced. Balanced is a good word, especially after a holiday weekend. Restored, rested, re-energized. Just keep swimming. I hear a song in my head when I hear that. And then feel healthy and truly happy. Thanks for sharing, Lori. Renewed, together, intentional, just want to play, rejuvenated with enough energy to have fun. So many great things, and appreciate you sharing in the chat. Blank canvas, Nikki. I love that. New month, new week, new fresh start. And thank you all to all the teachers out there that have started teaching for this school year. It's a tough job, and we appreciate you leading our new generation. Let's move over to the left-hand side of the page, and that is our weekly to-dos. So many fun ways to do our weekly to-dos. In the left-hand side here, somebody just drew 4 quadrants. Whoops, that went back. And you can do work, play, clean, or do, so you can categorize it. In the middle there, this person decided to just use stickers. Trust the process. Never forget how wildly capable you are. So if you need some motivation, you can doodle, you can draw a quote, you can put a sticker. On the right-hand side, you can just list your to-dos, and then write down when you get them done. You could do a ta-da bingo. A ta-da is your accomplishments. So write down the things that you have to do, and then you get to check them off like a bingo board when you complete them. So fun, different ways to think about how you might do your to-do list. Let's move on to the right-hand side. The right side of your page here, page 33, is your meal plan, your mind, body, health, as well as your shopping list and I am loving. I've got some examples, but I wanted to share, maybe get your camera out, take a picture of this. These are all the different ways that you as the Sonder family have decided that you would like to repurpose or use these 2 areas. I'm going to share here how I use my meal plan on the left-hand side. So I coordinate my mood tracker into a symptom tracker, and then I actually write down everything that I eat and drink on a daily basis, and I go back to my symptom tracker and see if there's any symptoms that I'm having with what I'm eating or drinking. And that's how I coordinate page 10 and this page. On the right-hand side, this person has repurposed their meal plan to a wellness plan, and they put different categories, 7 different categories, and it's the 7 types of rest. So relationships, environment, physical, spiritual, emotional, I should know this, wellness, and financial. And they are writing down those different ways that really will support them that week in each of those areas. For mind, body, health, they're writing their daily affirmations. Under the shopping list, they're doing a social check-in. So this might be something helpful if you're really looking to connect with people. You might want to write here who you're texting or calling or seeing in real life. And then for me, this was a couple weeks ago, but I'm loving it's a travel week. I travel for work. So in mind, body, health, I wrote down what I was going to wear every day. So I use that. So these are some really great examples. Let's see if I have any more. Nope, that's our closing activity, which we probably should get to since we're almost out of time. These are just some really fun examples. If you want to share in the chat, Chris, it looks like you've been doing your meal plan as a schedule and plans for the day. I think that's really helpful as well. And then Amanda, you love the Need, Want, Hope bingo board for your to-do list. Georgette loves the ta-das. Really good feeling of accomplishments. I think that's awesome as well. Lydia is making your shopping, your packing list for your trip. I think that's a great idea. Cindy, you love the wellness plan for affirmations. So many great ideas. This is just a teaser for how we do our weekly setup. So if you've never been to a weekly setup, we spend the entire time showing you many examples and giving you lots of time to do each of these sections. But because we weren't able to do it this weekend, I really wanted you to give you just a minute to really think about how you might be setting your week up on the weekend. So really glad that you were able to do that. So our closing activity, I really love the calendar aspect. I know maybe not a lot of people use this, but I'm curious and would love to know if you use this, how you use it. Other Sonder fam members use it for their exercise plan on the bottom left. Some people use this just to write in every daily affirmation. And on the right-hand side, people use it for their schedule, like as a calendar schedule is. On the left-hand side, affirmations, a schedule, and exercise plan. Maybe you want to track your Sonder socials and just write down when you're attending, having Sonder socials with us. Perhaps a yes day calendar. You're going to write down all the days that you're going to just say yes to everything and have a yes day. Or celebrations, or maybe it's your homework, or maybe it's your cleaning and decluttering schedule. So just wanted to give you some fun ideas to think about how you might use this calendar. I know we all have electronic calendars at work and probably at home as well, but how might you use these to incorporate different ways for your self-care activities? So I know this was a lot. I know I put in a little bit more than I probably should have, but I really wanted to give you a little bit extra because I know that this weekend we won't have any Sonder socials. So with that, this was recorded. You will be able to see it again. But we'd love to see your examples on Sonder Club. Here's a little bit about my song choices tonight. If you like to see or take a screenshot of this if you like any special song. Otherwise, we have this fun program called Refer a Friend. And that means if you refer a friend, you get $10, they get $10 off. If you aren't an annual subscription member and you'd like to upgrade to one, you can save $110 over the year. And if you haven't been on the app yet, you can download the app and get to see all these examples, have greater community support, and Jennifer's sharing all the links in the chat as well. And then I mentioned we have a private YouTube link. She's sharing that in the chat. Maybe bookmark that once you open it up, because that's the only way you can get to it. And we have all of these recorded Sonder socials that you can watch over again. The only thing that's not in them is the chat. That's just private to tonight. That's just between us. And again, we're just super happy that you were able to take time out to be with us tonight. We cherish our time with you. We cherish what you share with us and the journey that you're on with your self-care journey. And so just Jennifer and I are so grateful that you were here. We hope you all have a very safe, happy, healthy, restful Labor Day weekend. And we'll be here for just a few more minutes in the chat if you want to have any questions or any more pages that you want to see. Otherwise, we will see you all. Jennifer and I will be back here Tuesday night, and I'll see you all soon. From the city, from the rooftops, 'cause today's gonna be
today's gonna be my day, it's gonna be my day. Good night stress, see you in the morning. I don't gotta guess, you're always there for me. Sowing them seeds of doubt, I think you like seeing me freak out. Good night stress, see you in the morning. So I wake up, I get out of bed, stay up, stay out of my head 'cause it's dangerous, and I don't wanna lose my mind, no. I just wanna shine like the sun when it comes up, run the city from the rooftops, 'cause today's gonna be my day. I just wanna climb to the top of a mountain, stand tall when I'm howling, 'cause today's gonna be my day. I used to lay low, hiding in the shadows. So don't give me dark days, I already had those. I'm just trying to figure out how to be myself right now. I don't wanna lay low, hiding in the shadows. So I wake up, I get out of bed, stay up, stay out of my head, 'cause it's dangerous, and I don't wanna lose my mind.